and they perfectly did not sit still. All right, thank you everybody for coming back today. Lucas of Lucasgvariety with my friends to play Robotech, the MACROSS SAGA, Season 1 finale. Everybody do hand wavings. Robotech. Episode 10, February 23rd, 2020. Exactly 5 days before this guy goes from the dirty 30s into the lordy, look who's 40. This will be my last role-playing game I'll be playing with you guys before the plunge into the big 4-0s. Anyway.
Oh,
Don't
man.
look a
So
day
old.
over 20.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's because I oil my Fayt. Anyway, we're here to play some serious Robotech, and I think that's it. I'm going to pass it upstairs to the RM and brace myself for what's coming.
I am the Robotech Master, Harukajunko, and I say welcome back, everyone, for the season finale of Robotech, the Macross Saga. Unfortunately, we didn't get as far as I would like to in this, as far as I wanted to in this, but we are getting to some of the best parts, and I get to attempt to force one of the players into the Miss Macross competition, so that's good enough. But we're going to do a quick flashback, going back in time. Everything is plaid, and the bell, those parachute bell-bottom jeans are still in style. And
I'm like, plaid? Dude, then you really need to adjust your freaking VGA cable, man.
We're going plaid.
they've gone to plaid. But
I was waiting for that one.
And so we switch back a little bit, a couple hours in game, to Lucas, who is, or rather, we switch back to, if I have my script up here right, it is Archibald, and you're approaching the guarded room that the Russian Fusiliers have been put into, with the single sergeant outside the door. And he's, armed with his regular assault rifle, kind of just waiting there at attention. And he sees you approach, and he goes, "Sir, this is the Russian Fusiliers debriefing room. I'm going to have to ask you to stand outside for a minute."
Yes. Lucas didn't expect resistance here. Thanks for throwing that.
You, just so you know, you can pull rank. You are higher ranked than this dude. He's a sergeant.
Yeah, I was just say something like, I know where I'm going, Sergeant, step aside. And I just keep walking. I'll walk around him.
Yeah, and he kind of... He's not going to question it because you're higher rank than him, and he doesn't really want to get involved in this, so he kind of steps aside and then continues stepping down the hallway a little bit away from the door.
Yep, he played it well.
And you open the door, and the Russian Fusiliers all turn and look at you, including your lover, Danilova.
More specifically, as you bust in the door here, because probably as you're approaching the door, you're hearing Ivan address his troops. So, fire teams 1 and 2, you are dismissed to get some R&R for the next 48 hours after debrief. You did well against the foe, and you brought glory to the regiment. Sergeant Timorovich, you will take command of MP duties for the next week. Fire teams 3 and 4, you are in the pipe for next deployment. Focus training on target acquisition and damage mitigation. And then that's probably when Archie busts in.
Yep. Let me tell you about damage mitigation, Ivan.
And right as you do that, every single one of them, except Danilovna, just because she kind of knows where you're coming from at this point, is all pulling out sidearms, except for one of them. He pulls out a broken vodka bottle. And, they're all kind of looking at you, and, they very much don't look happy.
Hi. And then look back at
no, Fusiliers. Put the pea shooters away before I make you run laps on R&R. So,
they stow their weapons as you say that.
Lieutenant, I will be with you momentarily. Take a seat or stand, but remove yourself from the doorway.
Oh, sorry. Be quick about it, Major. We have a lot to discuss.
Lieutenant Danilova, get with the techs and see about getting the destroyeds repaired and combat ready. Get the order for a new set of bombards for Great Bear. Try a few casks of vodka if you need to. We will install ourselves at camp. Any questions over anything I've gone over? Fusiliers, wait outside.
And they'll get up and they salute and head outside the door to wait, since this doesn't look exactly fun. And finally, after a few seconds, you see Danilov now pass, and she kind of gives you a sad look, Archie, and
Great.
but she heads outside the door without breaking stride, and the door closes behind you with a.
And like Ivan like tops his neck for a second. He's probably still wearing his pilot gear and such from the monster, and so he's not even looking at Archie quite yet. He's like, "My apologies for delay. Orders have to be relayed, lest operations be delayed."
I think I leap forward at that point, just sock him right in the face if I get a good shot, clean, unguarded shot in. Like, just that whole right across the chin.
Yep, it's a good shot.
Good
Snaps
shot.
His head
Yeah.
to the side there. Ow.
I take, I'll cross over with the left and try to co-cock him again. But
So, and this time Ivan does catch this one in one of his large garbage can-sized hands.
Four members of my squadron are dead because of you.
Firstly, only 4? Secondly, I followed the plan as exactly laid out.
Exactly as laid out. What? Does that mean you were planning on shooting my men from the get-go?
Your squad was not supposed to be there. It is not my fault if they got caught in danger close.
You never told us you were dropping a shot the size of an apartment building on us.
I didn't think it would matter. You flyboys always go on and on about speed and maneuverability. I thought you would be clear. But apparently, you managed to screw that up.
You're saying it's our fault?
Considering that your squadron was pulling an air show, yes, Lieutenant, I am saying it is your fault.
And this probably goes towards more like the beating of fists, trying to like really uncoordinated, trying to just pummel Ivan.
And Ivan steps back out of reach for a second before finally he reaches forward, grabs you by the collar, and we watch him bodily throw you through a table.
Archie just got yeeted.
Yes, das yeeted.
I just think in wrestling, but it works either way. Just some stars sparkling in his head, where he sits up and like.
That is the second time you have attacked me, Lieutenant Silverworth. Do so again, and I will execute you myself.
All right. I just he starts to get up, like he's just like pure, like seeing red in his eyes. He's just like he's going.
And as you're getting up, Ivan is drawing his pistol, which is a long one with a fitted silencer. He was pointing it directly at Archie.
I think he sits up and he looks at the gun, and then his hands at his side. He just walks straight up to you, and puts his forehead against the barrel of the gun. He's like, "Okay then, do it. Do it. More acceptable collateral damage, right?"
Ivan tightens the grip on the pistol, and we hear the click as the safety is turned. Like he flips the safety off, and there's a tense couple moments, and then another moment, and then Ivan then redoes the safety and holsters the weapon. I will forgive the two outbursts, as you are young, inexperienced officer, and the loss of your men has hit you extraordinarily hard. I, however, will not tolerate a temper tantrum from a fucking boy. You want to play officer? Fine. Act like one, and let's do this proper.
Turns around, like picks up a chair that maybe got thrown over in the tussle, sits down with the back behind him, right? Just kind of.
And then Ivan will grab a chair in his big hand, and he will sit across from you.
You not only shot my men, Ivan. You annihilated them. Gone.
As well as the entire enemy contingent on that flank. And the strange command mech.
That doesn't make it right. You know what? I once thought you were just merely the pilot of the monster. And I was wrong. You are the monster. Koliki, whatever this name is, so accurate it's painful.
I don't pretend to be anything else. Lieutenant Silverworth, we are soldiers in a war for a very existence. Women, children, the weak and infirm have entrusted us with their protection and survival. We will use all the resources at my disposal. Every dirty play and unexpected tactical twist to ensure those on this ship and those who await us in the motherland are safe.
And you will not be able to do that if you're killing our own men. Get over yourself, Ivan. You're not a one-man army.
I never said I was. I, however, understand the need for acceptable losses. Losing men is unfortunate, but trading pawns for queens is common sense.
Except that they are not pieces in a game. We are thousands of miles from home. We cannot replace men and material.
I will concede to that point. However, you cannot deny the tactical logic of the situation. We are a small force fighting a seemingly endless army of machines and giants hell-bent on our destruction. Had I not done something, we'd risk losing the battle in its entirety.
And you couldn't have done that in a better way? I mean, you've been a soldier your whole life. A leader. And the best you could think of in that moment was to obliterate an entire quadrant of the battlefield without giving a warning?
And how am I supposed to do that? I have command comms for the Fusiliers, direct lines to the captain callers, and yourself. Relaying information would have taken too long, and putting it through speakers would have given the intent away, and they would have scattered.
It's a valid point. Still, the question remains, why didn't you try literally anything else?
Lieutenant Silverworth, what would have been the outcome of the engagement if the enemy hadn't pulled back at that moment?
Well, he's like pausing to think. Just maybe one little speech balloon, or thought balloon. He's like, man, it sucks not having Chuck here for this. Well, I don't know. We would have probably had to break away or something, force them back or retreat.
False. Considering you were shot by one of those bizarre officer mechs, you should also know better. Prolonged engagement would have likely resulted in all units taking concentrated fire from enemy conscripts, losing many, if not all, air assets and majority of ground assets. Also likely would have been having the enemy rushing the SDF-1 and attempting boarding actions, an action that we would not likely to repel due to the majority of our forces being deployed to Marsa.
Oh no.
Considering the enemy's bloodlust in tenacity, everyone on the SDF-1 would have been slaughtered. MACROSS City burned, and our only way to protect Earth would be in enemy hands. Lieutenant Silverworth, I did not have time to come up with anything else, because if we failed, we wouldn't just pay with our lives. We would pay with the lives of all of humanity. At this point, so there's pregnant pause, and then Ivan just slowly reaches in, pulls out a flask, and he takes a big swig out of it before he offers it to Archie.
He looks at it, looks at Ivan, who's probably just, right. And your hand reaches out. We see, hand reach out and take it. It's like. God, that stuff tastes terrible. Look, Major, I understand the stakes we are playing at. That still does not make your actions, as logical as you believe they are, to be right. Honestly, I still believe that you deserve to be court-martialed and brigged till we get back to Earth. But obviously it's not my decision, so it doesn't matter. And I hand the flask back.
Ivan takes it. It's you again. You're...
Oh. Sorry, I looked at it.
Yeah, it's all good.
I got real deep in thought and really buzzed from the vodka, instantly. Anyway, you pull this again, I will kill you myself. They were my men, my responsibility, and you committed an atrocity by killing them, as though that it didn't matter. You may think of men as pieces on a board, but I don't see them as men. I see them as men, not the pieces, as comrades, friends, family, almost. As our fellow survivors, we try our damnedest to get home one piece. Just best remember that.
Color me impressed. The pup has fangs. Ivan will take another swig from the flask. I thought this was going to go much differently. You are much smarter than I gave you credit for, Lieutenant Silverworth. And it does also seem that you possess a spine. Accept my apologies for thinking any less of that.
I don't see the humor in this, Major.
Then you get older and start having officers at third your age pull the same shit you win. Look, Lieutenant, I do not know what you want from me. I don't think you know what you want. And honestly, that makes sense. You are far more human than I am. You are not tempered to be impossibly hard as I was. You have great potential, Lieutenant Silverworth. Lots of room to grow to be a fine commander. And maybe you'll be one to hold on to that humanity. For now, though, I make suggestion to you, Lieutenant.
And that is?
Mourn. Mourn your men and lament the circumstances we find ourselves in. shed tears for them, honor their memory, but then steel yourself for more losses. We are at war, Lieutenant. One that makes the last global war seem like a border skirmish with children. We need you to be strong, to be courageous, and to inspire. I will say, I am sorry for your loss, and I accept responsibility for casualties. In the same situation, I will do the same actions, for that is the way I know to be hard, unyielding, and ruthless. For a monster like me, 4 bodies is merely a passing memory.
Yeah, there were almost 5, but you're right, there were 4.
Yes, and I recovered both mats, and what's the other one? Cuck? Pluck? Chuck!
Chuck.
Chuck was his name.
Yes.
He has a good throwing arm. He almost hit me with his helmet.
Chuck, I love you so much, you bastard.
So, well, glad I could at least share a little bit of humor with you. Now then, Lieutenant Silverworth, unless you have something else, please do me a favor and kindly fuck off. I've got reports to fill and I got men to debrief.
So Archie finally leaves. Or he gets there and he gets near the door and he stops and he looks behind him, like over his shoulders, like, this isn't over, Ivan. Not by a long shot. See you again real soon.
It's never over for someone like me, Lieutenant. And we just have a moment where Ivan is sitting there. He pinches the bridge of his nose a little bit before taking another swig of vodka, and he caps it, puts it back away, and he pulls out a PDA or papers or whatever, and we hear him start mumbling to himself for a moment. Dear Mrs. Gregorovich, I regret to inform you that your husband, Corporal Muk Gregorovich, has been killed in action. And
I think that's a good stopping point right there for the scene. And amazing improv work for that entire scene that was not written down at all beforehand. I just want to say that so everyone knows. No, seriously, great job on you two guys for getting together and actually writing that out. It's really well written for what it was. I only threw a couple of things in, but of course, like all serious things, it must come to an end because serious is not always fun, and or he dies.
That was a good time.
So we will instead switch about 15 minutes later. Captain Colors, you are walking with Lisa Hayes to the Russians' briefing or debrief room, and the armed guard is standing suspiciously far away from the door still. Like he's a good 3 meters to the side.
Lieutenant Hayes, please remind this gentleman what a door looks like when we're done here. And he'll walk on through once you're not distracted.
That was reporting officer Mother. But
so
no,
he kind of does like one of those, and he goes, "Please remind him how far the wide the door is whenever I'm in here. You can stay out here and talk to him about the door thing, the guarding and whatnot."
And he kind of speaks up and he goes, "Sir, I'm standing this far away due to Lieutenant Archibald having come down here with a very angry look, and I did not want to disobey a superior officer, sir." The Russians.
She turns again. Lieutenant Hayes,
trouble.
Remind him that we're not supposed to be scared of dirty looks by giving him an equally dirty look.
and she's like already on the ball with that and like, giving him the dirty look, and he's slowly scooting back towards the door.
If looks could
Yes.
kill.
And then he walks slowly to the door. Step aside, soldier. I'm the captain. I authorize you to move.
Yes, sir.
He
He kinda
smiles a
scoots to the
fake ass
side.
one.
And he also goes, one last thing, report, sir. There was a bit of a scuffle. One of the tables is broken inside of the room. I believe Lieutenant Archibald, from the sounds of things, went through it.
He'll flip his head, gaze back to Hayes again.
I'm already writing it down, Captain.
Thank you. I'm going to get creative with this one. If I hear what I think I'm going to hear in this room, I get to have fun today.
Of course, sir. I've already had the, and I really do have to wonder where you got those.
You do know who my roommates are, right?
Yes, I didn't think that they'd have those.
I didn't either, but they do.
They have so many of them too.
A gentleman in my position tends to stop asking questions of certain things and just see what happens next.
Fair
Oh,
enough,
this
sir.
is gonna be good.
And she kind of, waves her hand forward, like, let's get this over with.
Indeed, he'll open the door.
And the automatic door slides open as you wave your hand in front of it.
Doesn't it? Never mind.
And the Russians all kind of look back. The one with the broken vodka bottle still sitting there with the broken vodka bottle.
As soon as Ivan notices that his colors, he barks, "Officer on the deck!" And then everyone
stands up and they
and
salute.
immediately steps up.
He like literally goes, "Stop, everyone! If you salute with that in your hand, you're going to cut your eye out."
And the one who's doing it kind of looks at it and kind of, does the motion a little bit more just to see and kind of goes,
I've been there.
"That's
Been there, son. Smart lad." Gently places it on his boot before he stands up, so it makes a clinky noise while I'm paying attention to your hand.
Kind of does that and does it, and it's a lot sloppier than you've gotten to do it, but
It takes practice, but I want to pretend I don't see a room full of people right now. So let's all have that fantasy together. Exit that way so I can pretend I don't have to berate this man in front of his friends and coworkers. Yay.
And they all kind of give the look between the two of you, like.
He's literally doing this.
So, and then Ivan turns and barks in Russian. I'm not going to attempt to do this Russian because it is fucking a mess. It's like, go, you are dismissed. Move it.
And they all kind of hurriedly file out because, unlike the other one, they're not willing to shoot the captain for you.
Oh, they would if they knew me well enough. Anyway,
but they file out in the door, and Danny Love goes, "Captain, do you want us just waiting outside or full back to base?"
Say again? I call it the
They're
big
asking.
end.
They're asking for permission to either be dismissed or whether or not they need to wait for a full debrief.
Normally, you would be getting a full debrief, but considering the situation, get back to your respective areas and get ready to be the black sheeps. Pretty much standard at this moment.
Danny Love nods and salutes as she leaves the room and starts barking off orders in Russian that I won't attempt to pronounce. And the entire group of them start jogging back to the hangar bay on the Daedalus.
Ivan is still at parade rest. So it's like
He'll walk over.
Colors?
He'll just be quietly walking towards you. He'll get right up close to you. I'll do one of these. Smack you on the head. Pop! And he puts the head back on. That was a bonehead. That was massively dumb. But it was effective. And seeing as I did agree to work with you, and you did try to work with me. I won't throw you out of airlock accidentally and along with all the Fusiliers. But let's start over. Was Archie here?
He was, and I will
And
get it out of the way now.
that
He hits harder than you.
it's, it's a soft hat. It's a floppy. It's got a little metal rim just to make it to where it doesn't
Oh,
fly off my head.
I'm not talking about that. He hits harder than you. Believe
Oh,
me.
well, I never punched you really. I mean, it's just kind of been like, hey, bro. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's immaterial, vexing but immaterial. You and him are going to spend some quality time together tomorrow. Probably for the rest of the week. I don't know. Depends on how upset I get once I get done. By the way, after all of this, before you meet me for the punishment thing, write down all the guys' names. I'm taking care of the paperwork because I want you to focus on uneffing this situation with the rest of the ship. I've authorized rations from the equipment and whatnot repurposed into protoculture for all the ship. Your unit is getting the short end of the stick on this because you're getting nothing. You're getting no extra supplies, no extra ammunition, but everyone else is getting extra. Your unit now has to play peacemaker and get back what you need. I have told everyone this exact same statement. This is not a time to get back at the Fusiliers because you are protecting them. Something happened on accident. But you have to actually work together. Show them that you can work together, help them when they need help, and if they push it too far, like an actual military organization should not do, but does, do the right thing and report it after you punch them in the mouth. Preferably about the same time. Maybe let's rephrase that. Call Lieutenant Hayes and say, I'm about to punch this man in the mouth. Give her 30 seconds. If it isn't fixed, proceed to punch him in the mouth and call me. That way I can hopefully get his teeth replaced before he has time to call mommy. We're softer. We, as a ship, haven't had to deal with the entire ship blowing up yet. I haven't yet activated the switch on my console that does something that probably kills half of Macross City because people like you exist. That we haven't had to go that far yet. But we could have gotten off that planet without you nuking ourselves.
Permission to speak.
Go ahead.
First, before I get into the heavy stuff, I will firstly verify. So we are not getting any resupply or repairs.
You will continue with what you have at the moment until you manage to get the extra supplies that was going to be earmarked for you from the others. It has been evenly distributed through the other Veritech squads, and it has been put aside for you inside that squad's inventory. But it's up to them to give it back.
And you understand that this will alter our combat readiness as the Fusiliers.
It's already been figured into my calculations, yes.
Should not be surprised. Right.
There's a reason I can't sleep at night, and it's not just because I remember doing things like I did to that city.
So then onto the heavier stuff. Then so in the defense of in the short version of what I have also told Lieutenant Silverworth when he arrived is, in my defense, I acted exactly according to the stated plan given to the squadron.
Mm-hmm. I never said otherwise. I understand why you did it. I've done worse. You've done worse. We've both done worse to each other just trying to make sure the other person died. Sometimes in plain sight of each other.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why. but it can't happen again. The supplies won't stand up to the attrition rate that our weapons can put out on ourselves. We have a seemingly inexhaustible enemy. We're the finite resource in this equation. I can replace one Veritech on every operation easily, but four in one operation stretches it to the point where we can't rearm the ones we have. If we had not have found Mars, that situation we found ourselves on Mars would have been the end of two squadrons and have gone down to the combat readiness of about 1% of what we need to actually maintain active flights at all times. We're basically running beyond the means of any modern military. Protocultures and proto matter are amazing, and I've ordered people to scrap as much of the enemy as they can just to give us more. It's keeping us limping along. I am maximizing life output versus damage output at the moment.
Understood. However, I will also, once again, in defense of my squadron, is that I didn't have time
I
to make
understand.
any alterations.
You did not. The
And
battlefield
also,
was chaotic, and they were exactly like you probably have said already. They were in the wrong place. Their job was to get out of that place. I even heard it over open comms while you were all discussing it randomly during the operation. They ended up bunching up at the wrong time. I barely was able to get the singer boy out of the way by almost having to override half his control panel, but he got out. So we didn't lose. I didn't lose a civilian that I threw in a cockpit, but if I have my way, he will not be in another cockpit. So there's another chance of that.
that's probably most wise. He is
He's a
not
good
like
kid.
us.
He's a good kid, and that's why he needs to get out of the cockpit. Animals like us get to play with the big guns.
Indeed.
He
So,
he literally like pats the wall of the ship. You get to play with the big guns.
so, but other than that, I made the judgment call, and I will own up to it to command. But however, it is one of those situations that were to play out again with the stakes
You,
we are playing at. I don't think I could ever make a different decision.
you, the command vessels don't directly control the other ships, but they're like our from the movements, they're like sub commanders on a battlefield. They strengthen their troops' resolve. They enhance their capabilities, probably from a master slave computer situation, as best I can
Indeed.
tell from the communications. You're taking them out was critical to breaking their morale, but
Yes.
they could have easily walked 5 feet away and returned if another one had showed up. That's the scariest part of their unit strategy. They are literally endless supply of shock troopers.
They're very much like my homeland. And
Yes.
your assessment, I find, is a little lacking. The officers are more like commissars. They bully,
Mm,
they bully their men into doing as they desire.
it appears that way, but according to some of the cam shots I took when my scalpel team infiltrated one of their carriers, they actually seem to be simply running on. You would feel more like an ant hive. Everyone's running on pre-programmed instructions. They say shoot this. Everything does what you're supposed to do to shoot it, but there seems to be no flexibility there. Much like a well-oiled flight would do, minus the fact that I need people that can think on their feet. But either way, you did bad and you did good in equal measure, just like we always do in war.
Indeed. And before
Report in the
we,
morning for your punishment, along with Archibald, since he was obviously here. And let's start the Goodwill tour. He
indeed,
smiles.
may I
You
make
can be Melinda Hope.
is this some American thing?
Eh, related American thing. Well, I mean, it's more French. Maybe it's confusing. The girls have a special outfits for you two to wear to make sure everyone knows that you're trying so hard to be helpful to the team.
Ah,
They're crueler than I am, to be honest. I just kind of let them do what they want some days.
may I make one additional suggestion, and then of course, then I believe unless there was something else, then I
Nope.
will see you at 4:30 a.m.
That's right. Go ahead.
We need comms. We need to stop separating Fusilier comms from Silver Squadron comms.
Yes.
Part of this issue in post retrospect, however you say it,
It's
is
okay. I'm
so
just glad you can speak some English and the translators get what Russian back to me that sounds like English. And
so.
honestly, the language is as rough as you guys are to fight. It's crazy, but yes, it's very fun to hear. You guys sound mean when you speak it. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes.
You said comms.
Yeah,
I think
interconnected
what I
comms.
will do to keep the comm traffic from once again exploding like Alex first showed up is I'm going to have your team with team responsible. He's literally doing his finger. What is the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for a word here too. Cross netting. Certain team members can cross net to the other, their opposite. You will still get colors, or Archibald. I'm colors. Been a long day. You'll still get Archibald. Um, the one that Archie's sweet on because he won't shut up about it. Everybody knows. We'll talk to Chuck and so on. We'll just get you guys cross netted so you won't all be talking on the open comms to each other and on yourselves. So that way we don't get a lot of too much feed. So I can't interject it sometimes and go, shut up. There's an enemy right there. Dodge the left 5 degrees before you die. That happened. It's actually happened a lot. I'm getting good at that. Lasers are really easy to analyze. I'm getting off on a tangent, but yes,
Yeah.
it is a good idea, and we will make sure we'll get that straightened out.
Okay, just we will try it this way. Of course, my argument would still be for full calm intercommunications. However,
Well,
we're willing to try these cross netting.
it'll have to be at least a temporary solution because Alex, once I get him on the bridge, he's going to continue having access to active comms. It'll be kind of his role is to be the. If it was ground stuff only, it'd be called a traffic cop. He's going to be the comms guy. Plus, I don't want to say cheerleader because he's a guy, but he's going to be the cheerleader. It seems to work. It's really freaking weird, but it works. It just he would be singing in the cockpit. Think of that right now. Someone's just flying around singing, and yet while he is, statistically unaveraged things are happening.
So,
Fascinating. I definitely I'm going to record that and find out if I can figure out why. It's definitely it hurts my head to put the
you Americans always talk about how us Russians are superstitious, but are you even listening to yourself right now?
Do you know how many calculations he broke in my brain?
I'm not.
I've run pi up to almost 5,000 places without a stutter. And I couldn't calculate who was getting hit next when a swarm of 4 missiles came at that man because he started singing and suddenly they all missed from 120 yards away with a 5-foot spread peach. Those missiles should have hit them, yet they all dodged. And none of them even knew they were coming. They just mystically dodged. It's
So
not
he's
normal.
lucky.
He
So he is lucky.
exudes it. He exudes it with his voice. And I'm going to put a plug on that and make sure I can understand why, or at least forwardly use that to my advantage. And once I figure out how, I'll replicate it, probably with some better songs. Ugh,
So,
poppy rock stuff. Ugh.
Boy,
it is certainly a lot more fitting for him. So he's no offense to him, he has potential, but
He does,
he
but
makes a
we're
very, very, very poor soldier.
Well, unfortunately, I needed him at the time, but if we're going to get as close as we are, I need someone who's a little bit harder, or at least someone that can ignore it long enough to get home. He couldn't, and I've noticed that. Everyone's noticed that at this point.
Yes. Anything else, Captain? Would you like to make another attempt at punching me? Maybe you could beat Archie's record.
He'll go, get my gloves dirty? He smacks you with his head. He just pop. That's going to do. So tomorrow you're going to be embarrassed enough. But I ask you to please take this for the team. I don't want to punish the Fusiliers. I need them. I need Archie's crew. There's going to be some snickers. There's going to be some laughter about this, but just help me out.
Da, Commissar. I understand.
And he'll pop you on the shoulder, just go like little boop. I'm kind of glad I didn't kill you all those years ago.
Yes,
one of these
because
days,
you would be dead otherwise, because you would have had a bunch of weirds and trotty, whatever the fuck we're calling them, all over the ship.
one of these days, I'm going to write this beautiful simulation and figure out how you got out of that city before my bombs dropped, when they were already on the way before you even knew it.
Oh,
One of these days, you fox.
is that only that's been bugging you?
Pretty much. And he'll pop a lazy salute with the wrong hand. See you in the morning. Again, just write down the names. I'm writing up the deaths for this one. This was my poor planning, my numbers.
He already
were
holds
off.
up. He already holds up the 3.
That's it.
Yes, already done.
Yep.
And
So
then
going
This
forward,
is
that's
not
going to
a
be on
burden
me.
You will take. Sorry, this is not a burden you will take.
If we're going forward, you'll be giving those to me after you get the names down. I'm going to take that on my shoulders. You guys have too much to do, and technically I don't have a lot to do at once.
So,
You got to do something when you can't sleep, right? He'll head out. He'll just kind of turn around, nod his head, and leave.
And as you go to turn around, Lisa suplexes, Ivan. No.
Clothesline.
Oh God, Magnum.
Shout out to E.G. Magnum. Haruko.
Yo, Magnum.
I want to say hi to you. Good
Yeah,
scene.
no, I absolutely
Good
love
scene.
Magnum is in my just quick little break as we finish the scene. Magnum is in my other couple of games run by Groovy on the SMG Discord. He is an awesome dude. You guys should definitely check him out. He does lots of Gundam related streams, Path of Exile streams, and also Monster Hunter World. So definitely check it out. He's awesome dude. And now we go back to this after done my little plug here.
Robotech returns.
So the next day rolls around, and you are greeted early in the morning by a female officer in a bright pink flight suit, Mr. Jodo. And she walks up and she hands you a folded up set of clothes, and she says, "I'm Lieutenant Einricht, and this is your uniform for the day."
so he unfolds his like.
It's a maid uniform, Victorian era.
Looks a little small.
I'm sure you can squeeze in. And
He just shrugs as like, yes, if you say. And he probably goes in the. So we probably watch as he nonchalantly like heads over towards the restroom, and like he like doesn't close the door fully,
Mm-hmm.
and we hear just the changing of clothes until suddenly we hear a loud rip.
And she's just kind of waiting for you when you're doing all this. Which, by the way, you did notice something else. She has a riding crop with her.
Again, it doesn't phase Ivan at all.
No, just something you might have seen as, she's holding a riding crop and she's waiting for you to eventually get out.
Ivan does come out wearing the uniform, and we see just the entire top half. Like, there's just a giant rip down the side as his big broad chest obviously did not fit into this uniform at all. And I imagine, so it's a full French. So the stockings are like stopped at his knees because they physically cannot go up any higher. They are literally stuck.
Yeah, it's got its little skirt and everything. It's a perfect fit for Ivan,
So you don't happen to have tape, do you?
Oh, don't worry, we can fix that later. If you continue to act like this, the captain might make this your permanent uniform. Now, come with me, and she kind of starts leading you away to the Veritech barracks, where she has you guys cleaning up for the day, and she's also teaching you how to be a very ladylike maid. Your posture will be correct, and the way you handle things shall be correct, and the way you walk shall be correct, and every time you mess it up, she hits you on the back of the leg with the riding crop. Yeah. And you see her and Lucas there, and Lucas is attempting to hit on her, and every single time he gets hit in the back of the kneecap with the riding crop. And
Archie flirts all day. Yes.
Every time he gets it wrong, he gets hit slightly harder.
And that's okay.
And I imagine Ivan every time Ivan has been asked to change bed sheets and all that stuff and make beds and all that, it's like full military precision in comparison.
Oh yeah, no, she sees this, but occasionally you still get a whip because
you could cut yourself on the creases of the bed sheets.
She still occasionally gets you. That crease could be better.
My apologies. And he flips the entire bed and starts over from scratch.
And your entire day is like this. You get exactly 1 30-minute lunch break, and then at the end you also get a 30-minute dinner break after you help the cooks clean up dinner. And that is your entire day. Your entire day has been taken up by this. Though you do hear whispers from some of the troops, some of the male and female, that the Miss Macross competition is happening about a week. And you may not know what that is, but you kind of gather it's some kind of beauty talent pageant thing.
So what's the name of the lieutenant in the pink jumpsuit?
Lieutenant Einricht.
As we're getting close to the end of the shift, towards the end, the last minute of the shift, is up. So Ivan will turn to the lieutenant and may I make a quick suggestion?
You may make a quick suggestion.
So, Ivan probably reaches into some poor, probably ripped up pocket, and he holds up a keychain that has got several keys. It's that crap would work better if you put dangly bits at the end, right?
Oh
my god.
She just smiles and goes, I know. I was told not to hurt you too much.
So, you'll have to try a lot harder than that to hurt me.
Well, if you screw up as bad as you did next time, then don't worry. I won't be going easy on you two. And that is your entire day. And
I feel like that was flirting.
That's the next day, and we've already roleplayed the next day with Alex, getting a visit from Minmay and his mysterious, things. And,
You're not smart.
Mm-hmm. And,
highlight of last episode, my favorite part. Still.
And then it's the day after, in which Miss Macross sign-up sheets and the sign-up talent show has begun. And, there are people going around, and a couple squadron members from Silver Squadron thinking about joining it. And, to Miss Melody Jacobs, Corporal Emma Sheen wonders if you're going to attempt to enter.
Why would I want to?
Yeah, she kind of shrugs, like, you never know. You could, went out and become famous and get your name all over the place and have literally whatever you want because you're beauty pageant winner and technically the first one in space. That's worth a record, at least.
No.
No? Not even
Unless
for
I
the
am
pretty...
ordered to do this, I will never, ever do this.
You're ordered to do it.
Unless someone who actually matters orders me to do it.
My brain was
ordered
literally
to do
going,
it.
I could just suggest she does it so she'll find another guy that gets interested in her that she likes versus Archie.
So many love lines and triangles and squares. Anyways.
The captain would be that evil.
Would? I thought is.
Both.
But, of course, some of the girls in the squadron, I think, trying out for and going for it because they figure, worst comes to worst, they get their face on TV and they get to act pretty for once and for the first time in like a month.
I'm wishing them good luck.
And of course, the day goes on, and so what is everyone doing? Since you guys have basically about a week down, leading up to the Miss Macross pageant. Alex, unfortunately, you're stuck in the hospital.
Yep. Vomlets all day.
Mm-hmm.
You have Minmay to bring you whatever.
Yeah, no, and she's
Walnut
stuck.
That's only one meal a day though.
Yeah, but she always does come by for at least dinner and give you dinner, and it's always, something from the Chinese food restaurant as Jodo goes blurry.
I'm fixing it.
His camera got some vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His camera was
That stuff
like,
is
I'm
rough.
drunk though.
Darn Russian video.
But for the most part though, it's the hospital food doesn't get worse, but it doesn't get better.
He's only fed the chili and bomblets.
Yep.
The reason being that all the other good MREs got sent to the actual pilots.
Yeah.
And so the hospital literally just has all the leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No,
you got technically reassigned on the roster from pilot to officer, or not officer, junior officer, so you don't get the good stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm. So you are pretty sure someone did pull some strings because you did get a Western Frontier 12 meal case.
I have to look that up.
I'm pulling it up right now. Or rather, you got one of them, which and it's selected from 2 different menu options that come with a variety of Asian, Mexican, Italian, traditional, and vegetarian. Today you get Mexican for lunch.
Yum.
And you get a assortment of snack, which is some crackers and stuff, a dessert, which is a apple turnover, a thing of coffee, a milkshake, and a powdered energy beverage. It's, pretty okay.
When I'm eating it, I get it out on a tray. Nice.
Yeah. You get your little tray and you gotta heat it up.
Doing pretty
Coffee,
good in the
instant,
hospital.
type B.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely one of the better ones from you can tell. It actually seems like edible food, something that someone would actually attempt to eat, unlike the omelet. It just seems like something that people put in there to torture others. You're pretty sure it's illegal, a war crime or something.
It's illegal in 70% of the UN countries.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they still serve it in 70% of the UN countries. But, when you're going to, and, Minmay comes by, and she talks to you, and, everything seems to be going pretty okay. And then we're going to switch over to, Archibald. Archibald, what are you doing on this fine day? It's like a Wednesday.
Is this the day after the maid cleaning?
Yep, this is the day after the maid cleaning.
This is the Miss Macross concert day?
I thought you said it was a weekend until the...
Maybe. We'll say it's Saturday. because I'm really bad at keeping up with days, and I want 6 hours of sleep.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Day happens, and
But this is
you know.
the day of the competition.
Oh no, that's happening at the basically next weekend.
Oh, okay. Well,
You
crap.
you got 6 days before that. Unfortunately, you are not allowed to sign up. You're not pretty enough. I'm sorry.
That is highly false and untrue.
Ooh.
William Wallace, I am prettier than this man. All right. Sorry. I had no idea. I had all my energy put into the argument with Ivan that I'm like, I'm done for the night. I've just been kicking.
You're just You're probably just relaxing with Chuck and stuff.
I think coming down off that, making sure the letters are written. I mean, I would maybe try to work on a drama or make a role. I don't want to take up too much time for it, but I think it's important to have him keep doing that. But I think laying low, making sure the morning process is good, make sure he's paying more attention to his team. Hang out with Chuck. Maybe I think he's been neutered for the moment. So like, even if he sees Jacobs or one of the other female, on this crew, he's not that flirty. He's just kind of like,
he's broken.
He's not broken. He's just not in the mood to put the facade on, put the mask on.
What did you do with Archibald?
Exactly.
He's broken.
And if he goes out, I think he'll put the face on, but since he doesn't want to, he's been staying inside most of the day. Probably like,
Yeah, no, there's a movie going on kind of, they got a movie going on today. It's a Western classic. It's 3:10 to Yuma.
Oh, I love that one. That I think that Kristen Balesworth or something stars in that. I can never remember names, but and Sean Connery I think is also in that. Mm-hmm. So that'd be something worth seeing. Maybe, but he would sneak to that and like sit in the very back corner and try not to talk to anybody. That's probably.
No one really bothers you because you do hear a couple of jeers about, oh hey, it's the maid cleaning crew, and and you have noticed that there are several pictures up around the place with promotional logos and stuff using the pictures of you and Ivan in the maid uniforms, and it says, if we can do it, you can too, and stuff like that.
Oh my! I mean, and I go up to him like, look at this. Really, is my ass look that fat in this picture?
I mean, you have been eating a lot of hamburgers lately.
Oh, this is the wrong angle. It's my left side you look at. My left side.
At this point, can I walk by with a date and say your head looks better?
You are not going to come by with a date.
Oh, I so want to.
You know what? You got one of the other officers. Is it a romantic date or something?
Just a friendly thing.
Or is it kind of just like food date? It's kind of like a food date. You're going to go out and get something to eat.
Yeah, just a friend date.
It's one of the female officers from one of the other squadrons. You're talking about all kinds of things, and of course, she's talking about this MACROSS competition because she feels like it's going to be amazing.
And I'm yelling at the poster of myself and Ivan. I'm yelling at it. Yeah.
Is he screaming at the wall?
Yeah.
The poster, Alex. The poster.
Screaming at the wall.
But yes.
You're not their new type, Alex.
Oh,
spooky
wait.
new type noises.
Oh crap! I was supposed to go see Alex. I just remembered.
Wow.
My own pride and vanity. Go visit the guy I was actually upset about. No, too busy with this poster.
Yeah.
He said movie. It sounded fun.
You know what? At least he's consistent.
That was a Lucas mistake. That was not an Archie mistake. He'll remember maybe like halfway through the movie because someone's name is Alex or it sounds just like him. Like, Alex. Oh! He'll run out.
Runs in front of a ton of other people.
Popcorn goes flying in the lobby as he's just blasting through people waiting to see the next show. He's like, "No, Alex!" And he's running down the street. That sounds good.
Meanwhile, Chuck is just kind of, as he sees you jump up and run, he kind of...
Oh no.
No, he just kind of gives a tired groan and slogs after you slowly.
You know what I'm imagining? When he bowls to the people in the lobby, it's bowling pin noises.
Yep, obviously.
They're
One
flying up
person
in
goes-
the air.
One person goes flying and you shoot, my leg!
I thought it'd be funny if Chuck was one of those people because he wasn't with me. And he's,
He was getting the snacks.
Yeah.
You were getting the seats.
oh crap! But that's
But-
good. That's good for me.
You eventually rush over to the hospital, and it's still visiting hours, even though it's getting a little bit later in the day. And you burst through, and you rush. You find his location, and you try to rush through, like, Alex, I didn't forget about you. I didn't forget about you, Alex. And then and you collide with someone. You hear like, ah,
Oh god!
as the door opens.
Oh, jeez!
Beep beep.
It has breaker face.
And you are covered with the leftovers of a Chinese food dinner.
I am.
Yep.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Tastes pretty good.
It is. And then I'm like,
Yeah,
wait.
And inside of the door to the room is a younger-looking Asian woman who seems to have been visiting Alex, and she's now on her butt, and she's kind of looking up at you, and she's kind of giving you that puffy, kind of annoyed face.
Oh my god,
Does
I
she
know the
look
face.
okay? So she's obviously pretty, and Archie's a lech. But does she look like she's well under 18, or is it like, like hey girl? But then I'm like, Alex.
Well, you can actually see a picture of her. She's on page 53. Her name is Menace.
I've seen her in the show before. I'm just asking.
She is too young, you perv.
Yes, too
I don't
young.
know. I'm asking.
Yes, too young. Yes, too young.
I'm asking. I'm
Abort.
I want to ask the RM to make sure. So it's like
I'm actually double checking for my own sanity.
I think she just turned 16 at the Sweet 16 episode. So
Yeah.
okay, I'm just making sure I know correctly. So yeah, Archie would glance at her and be like, and then like Alex, wait, Alan, oh my god,
You're right the first time.
and I'm already like grabbing your face and like lifting you up. Oh, I'll be right back.
It's like, wait, no, sorry, I got a phone call to take.
That
Runs
was the
out.
perfect ringtone for that, though.
Oh, you're alive! You're alive! I gotta go.
In the meantime,
That was all I was here for.
oh nope, he's back.
All right.
There we go.
So as you're rushing up past him, you're like going around Minnie, who's kind of giving you this really upset stare at this point as she gets up.
But for some reason, all she does is this. Like
Yeah.
always, her hand just stays up here.
I was just gonna say
What?
I was like lifting Alan. I know it's Alex, of course. Like up by his face to like pull him near me, like, and he's probably in pain.
Ow. Ow.
Ow, ow,
Ow. Ow.
And you can see he's bandaged all across the chest, and they got like a Ziploc baggie with all the shrapnel next to him. You can make a new plane out of the shrapnel.
Did you get in a knife fight? What happened? How are you alive? Why aren't you dead? I'm so glad you're alive. What happened?
It's good to see you too.
Why aren't you dead? I'm so glad.
You dead.
How many times do we have to kill you?
Did you get in a knife fight?
There's too many questions.
That doesn't happen later in the series.
It's like, why aren't you dead? But I'm so glad you're alive. And then I'm probably realize I'm holding his face, and I have to like drop him back on the pellet. Like, oh, hey. you're
Really
dead.
unceremoniously too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry, buddy. Patting you on the head like I ran into your girlfriend and I was picking you up by the neck. Sorry.
Which she's just gotten up at this point, and she chucks one of the Chinese food containers at the back of your head and just kind of hits you square in the back of the head. Because you kind of just left her there on the ground.
Yeah.
And you ran past her.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about Archibald. He's like this.
Then I help her up and I realize like how much of an ass.
No, she's already up. She doesn't want your help now. And you know, she kind of huffs and she kind of goes, And I thought that pilots and soldiers were supposed to be, heroes and stuff, not like you.
Oof.
I wore a French maid outfit. I did that
Oh,
for
You
the,
wore
Another
a
girl
what?
who hates him.
I did that
You wore a
for,
what?
I did that for the people.
And she hears that and goes, "Oh, and you're a perv too." And she kind of huffs and starts gathering her stuff to leave.
And then I just pull out from my back pocket, unfold the poster that I ripped off the wall, and I'm like, this.
I'm face palming in character.
But I signed it for you. And wait, no, you should sign it for me, because you're the performer. Anyway, I'm glad to see you're okay. I didn't forget about you. I don't care what Chuck says.
Listen, I'm not going to be coming back to the squadron.
Yeah, no. I'm sad, but I'm kind of glad, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
Get out of my squadron.
You know, make Pio Pio. Get out of the spot.
Well, you need to get better, and we'll hang out, and you can sing songs like your greatest hit. And yes, dang it, I don't know what to say. I've had too many emotions, and my hand hurts, and I'm kind of drunk. Wait, that was yesterday.
How drunk? Is it drunk enough that I can smell it?
It was yesterday. It was like 2 days ago too. No, so probably not. But
Okay.
he
Well,
probably,
then why are you still...
That's not
How would you been drinking recently that you're drunk again?
nope, it's still from the same time. It's just kind of. It keeps
It's
coming.
from the flask. It's from Ivan's flask. That one hit on Ivan's flask got you so drunk for 2 days.
What the hell was in there?
It just comes and goes. It just like whoa. Anyway, so sorry. Anyways, Arcee's like, all right. Well, I'll talk to you later. You need to get some rest. Rest.
Right.
But you can have the poster with the French maid picture. Folds it up, tucks it under,
Right.
tucks it under your arm. Like, it's good. Embarrassing. I'm not a perv. I'm not a perv. Yikes. Tell her that. Whatever.
I just raised one eyebrow. Not a word, just an eyebrow.
Just yeah. He's like, you know what? Later. Okay. Got things to do. And I gotta leave. Dang you, Jacobs. Friend date, whatever. But I think
Yes, this is
What did
clearly
I
all
do?
her.
it's come back.
Clearly all her fault.
Just coming back around to her. But anyways, I don't know what else to say to Alex. I think that's enough. He doesn't know what to say. He just makes sure he's okay, let him know that he knows, and then leave.
No. And as you start heading home back to the base, because it's getting kind of late, and I kind of feel like Archibald just wants to head back. Chuck is decided to just go back to base. You get one of those phone calls that goes, phone call for Lieutenant Archibald, phone call from Lieutenant Archibald, as this robot starts running, like driving past you. It's screaming this out loud, by the way.
Oh, it's the robophone. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's a literal robot on wheels that's running around. It's like it's a payphone on wheels.
But it's looking for you.
Yeah, it's looking for you.
Totally not creepy. Not creepy at all.
I will answer it.
So you kind of like wave it down, and the robot kind of wheels back, kind of turns and wheels over to you. Phone call for Lieutenant Archibald, and you can grab the phone, and it's just the video pops up on the other side, and it's just a really tired Chuck, and he's like, I headed back to the barracks. I'm gonna get some sleep. See you when you get back here.
Okay. That's where I'm gonna go next. I'll see you there, buddy.
Well, night. And he kind of hangs up, and I'm assuming you hang up, and you put it back on, and the robot starts wheeling off somewhere else. It's got other things to do. And but I need you to make a defense test really quickly for me.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Le gasp.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I need you. Actually, no, correction. You wouldn't be able to make a defense. Give me 1 second while I attempt to murder you violently.
What, the robophone blows up in his face or something?
Is there poison?
No. The person doing this
That's a
is
whole new type of IED. Oh my god.
no. The person that's doing this is not actually. No, I'm not going to say anything like that.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. I mean, actually, I was just going to relate it back to modern day politics, but that's also a horrible thing to do.
Yeah, please don't get us nuked from orbit by Twitch.
Yep, I will not do. Twitch, we are good people. Okay, that's a lie.
We're not good people, but we're
They
not
saw
gonna
the Zentradi mulch.
Mm-hmm. So they are going to. Yeah. All right. So, Archibald, you having a good day?
No.
No. Well, I think you're having a great day because you just gotta, you're kind of just step back from the phone a little bit, and it's at that point where it's dark and the street lights have turned on.
Is he in a park?
Nope, he is not in a park. He's
God
along
damn it.
a small. No, he is not in a park, and it is not in the area. Stop that. It's way too early for that.
I ship what I ship.
Hey,
Stop
nerd, stop
shipping.
it.
But the only person we're allowed to ship is Melody.
What? No. That's no. Everybody
Like,
get off the ship pay of that.
It's in your contract, but no. So Archibald, you kind of take a step back, and the day is kind of weighing on you as you're getting ready to head back when you kind of feel something like prick you in the back, and you kind of turn around and at first you think, well, I didn't think I kept any ketchup sauce back there, as this blood pool starts expanding around on. It's kind of in the backside here, and it's kind of spreading as this young.
I just got
as this-
shot in the buttocks.
Dude just got shanked. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and the only thing you can see of this is a young female hand as it retreats back into the darkness of the alleyway, and you are now stuck there bleeding. You have taken 3 damage.
How?
Don't we only have 3 wounds?
I know.
Technically he has 6.
Oh yeah, he has drama armor.
Yeah, you have 6. So you have 6 wounds. So you just fill up the first 3. So fill up.
Brawls.
Yep.
Wait. Hold on a second. Let me. Where do I fill this in?
So you're just gonna put like an X or a mark inside of your brawl box.
Your
This is
first
for
3
your box.
brawls.
My brawl?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, what am I looking at? X in the first 3?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Ooh, ouch.
And you're left standing there, bleeding, as this knife is, embedded inside of you. And it's kind of at this point the testosterone of "oh God, I've been stabbed," and "oh God, it hurts" kicks in.
Robot phone? Robophone? Okay.
And the robophone kind of wanders back over to you. And would you like to make a call?
Yes. Emergency. Death. Died. Call Chuck
Uh,
Burns.
All right, so understood. And you pick up the phone, and it takes about 3 minutes, but eventually it does get through, just because another robot has to go find Chuck Burton. And he's like, "What do you want, man? I was just about to get to bed."
I've been stabbed. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm in this X location. I call help. I've been stabbed.
You kind of see him go, "You got stabbed."
No, really.
Oh God, you got stabbed.
Yes.
And
Pick up the
he's
panic
like,
in your voice, Chuck. Come on.
I'll get some help coming that way. I'll be there in a minute. And he hangs up with you, and then he immediately, and after a couple of minutes from the nearby hospital, which you just left, by the way, comes out several medics, and Chuck's sprinted from the barracks, which normally would be like a 5-minute walk. He kind of just sprinted that to get to you, as the medics do. And you are being carried away inside of into the hospital. And then we're gonna go back in time a little bit to Melody Jacobs.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna get shanked, it's a good place to get shanked. Right outside the hospital.
To be honest, I am I will admit this much, and I'll lift the GM screen. The person who stabbed you, they rolled really bad.
Like, what did they roll?
They rolled 3 successes, a 6 and a 5 on 7 dice.
On 7 dice. Oh,
Wow.
that had a chance of killing you outright.
with which, by the way, I will add, for this one time I'm peeling away the GM screen. They took no burnout.
Oh, we're screwed. We're so screwed.
Wow.
How many wounds? I'm having trouble processing that.
He took 3 damage, and they have at least 7 dice.
And they took
Ow.
no burnout.
Okay, well, I mean, you could do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and I'm a career soldier.
Either way, it's not someone we want to really mess with, but Archie just got stabbed.
Mm-hmm. But with that though, Melody, is there anything you're doing throughout the day? Or are you kind of just relaxing since Alex is in the hospital for the next while?
Just kind of relaxing, and I guess I haven't really went to visit him either because he has his girlfriend. So
I think you did already.
yeah, I visited
Yeah.
you that one time. All I needed to do. Kind of left Archie alone.
She feels
Seems
like
kinda-
you're being stolen away.
Now I'm letting him being stolen away. But yeah, I guess just go out every now and again, walk around.
Of course, there's advertisements all over the place for different things like the Miss Macross competition.
Mhm. That's been nothing that I've heard about for however long now.
Yep, but it's the Miss Macross competition. There's advertisements for the Miss Macross competition. Robocola.
Which is sponsoring the Miss Macross competition.
Yeah, right.
Only Miss Macross would drink. Miss Macross would only drink Robocola.
Yeah, well, I don't like Robocola.
The can just made that.
Not sponsored.
Yep. And then there's, the other one where it's like, only the true Miss Macross could be qualified to drink Dr. Technology.
Oh,
the
you want to show
competing,
that now?
and it's, all these other ads and stuff. And of course, there's, the general stuff. There's, they've actually recently set up an area where you can actually, they've got these like little holographic pads that you can kind of step on. And each one you step on, a different hologram is displayed on you.
Ooh.
And yes, Max, and yes, Mecha, I know what you're thinking of because I stole it from Do You Remember Love?
It's so good.
And so you see some people, there's one girl who jumps up on one of them and it, changes her clothes to look like a beautiful wedding dress that's big and floofy and all that stuff. And then someone else jumps on another one and he turns into a chivalrous knight.
You know what? Screw it, because since every freaking person wants it, I'm going to go up and step on the holograms.
All right, so let me just roll something here.
Oh.
You're dressed in funeral attire.
Right? Huh.
How
Poor
timely.
You actually
Just a maid
get dressed.
outfit.
Oh yeah, no. But this time you actually get dressed up. When you step up onto it, there's a big flourish of lights, and your clothing changes into what looks like a very nice formal suit. Kind of something that you'd see someone wearing to a very formal business party.
Oh, so kind of like normal attire. Okay.
Yeah, like your normal attire, except it's darker colored.
So dress blues but black instead.
Yeah, like, huh.
But it's
I
kind
don't
of like
see what's so special about this.
Yeah, no, it's just
Well,
just
try another pad.
different stuff.
Fine, I'll step on one more.
All right. And the next one you step up puts you in a Japanese kimono, a peach one with little flowers draped across the side of it.
I'll do a little twirl because why not?
Oh, and as you twirl, it twirls with you thanks to the power of Robotechnology.
But it's actually some pretty crazy tech when you think about it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And I think that sounds kind of like that's your day.
Yeah, just kind of walking around, playing with stuff.
Next morning, everyone gets, including you, Captain. The next morning, because you were busy doing other things and the situation was handled, you were told that Archibald Silverworth had been stabbed by the hospital, it seems.
Stabbed by
Wait,
the hospital?
The hospital stabbed me?
Yeah, the hospital
stabbed
stabbed.
And the gazebo ate me. Sorry.
Let's rephrase that to stabbed near the hospital.
Yeah.
No. We're going to keep by stabbed by the hospital because then it just sounds like it's a normal visit to a hospital.
I mean, you don't get a shot every visit to your hospital.
So, quick question before we move into this, GM. Just because I'm assuming Ivan, if he's not on penal duty, is going to relax. Does that clear that one extra stress I took from?
Oh yeah, if you took any fatigue, it goes down one by day.
Okay, just making sure before I made a change. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. And Mecha, normally I would say your wounds go down 1 per day. Actually, I will say that your wounds are going down 1 by day.
All right. How many days has it been so far?
It's been 2 days, technically. So you will have lost 2 wounds. You're still you're not critically dying anymore. You're not gonna one hit's not gonna kill you instantly, but they would prefer if you stayed in for a little bit while longer, so that way you don't die or something.
Is it possible Archie gets roomed with Alex?
Generally, I don't think.
I'm just asking.
You are actually roomed with Alex. You got the little cloth divider between you two, and I imagine that every time Archie just kind of pulls it back, and he's like, "So Alex, how you doing?" And Alex just kind of looks over. It's been 5 minutes since you asked that.
They don't have any TVs in here.
No. Well, actually, no, they do have one, and it's displaying because there's technically no TV channel right now.
Crap.
It's only displaying ads.
Yes, my favorite channel, the advertisement channel.
Yeah. But you are when you wake up in the morning, everyone wakes up in the morning, and you are all informed that Archibald has been stabbed and was sent to the hospital by the hospital.
Keep telling him no means no.
Captain, you are especially briefed that this is possibly connected to Vanilla Squadron's officer.
It certainly is. I'm trying to figure out what the purpose of it is, but as best I can come up right now is literally just a spy that is just taking shots of opportunity as they go along. There's no rhyme or reason yet.
Or rebel.
Would you like anything sent down to him besides or would you like to go see him?
No, I've already been down there enough. I just get more. Just comb the records for anyone with any detective backgrounds. We're going to get more people spun up on this to get different eyes on it. I'm trying to focus what little attention I can right now on the fact that the enemy has gone quiet since we left Mars, other than the original picket point, which means either they know where we're going because of a spy, or they don't know where we're going and that's freaking the spy out, so he's lashing out.
Understood, sir. And Lisa Hayes, sends out the reports, starts combing through the data, looking for anything. And of course, it's about as good as you can expect. But we're gonna now, does anyone want to go visit Archibald in the hospital?
Yes, I'll go visit Archibald in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then after they have their scene in the hospital, I would also like a scene with Captain Colors.
Oh,
Alright. And because I've decided to change up the game plan, because I was telling you all we were going to get to Miss Macross tonight. No, I'm just leaving you all on cliffhangers. That'll be probably a good ending point for the scene, but Melody, you get down to the hospital and you're, shown into Alex Mass's room, which is being shared with, Mr. Alexander. Or Archibald, sorry. I don't know why I thought Alexander. I thought Alex and Archibald, and it's like, Alexander.
Now I'm just hearing Alexander Hamilton in my head.
Yeah.
Alex Bald.
Well, before I even focus on Archie, I'm going to just kind of lean around the corner. I'm so sorry.
He's not that bad.
So, like,
Yes, he is. Mouth. Yes, it is. Yes, he is.
I understand.
And, yeah, but you are, all greeted there, and, she tells you that it was a simple stab wound to, the side back a little bit,
simple.
and,
Simple.
he's kind of lucky that it didn't do more damage because it could have possibly murdered him, says the GM from behind the screen.
Honestly, I'm surprised he hasn't been stabbed before this.
Jacobs.
But,
Jacobs, I always knew you'd come back.
That's not creepy.
Yeah. So he's in the hospital. Can I stab him again? You'll save him, right?
He's probably on some painkillers. He's probably just like, hey.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're on morphine, you're like bandaged up, and they've told you can't turn or twist or move, which you
Which of
probably
course he does.
ignore.
Hi, how you doing? Don't worry. They didn't stab me in my heart. My love for you is still true.
Well, then it's not a really good
If
stab.
only.
He'll just basically say things like that in and out of a dreamy state, probably.
Yeah, his usual crap. I'll just
Ooh.
But he won't remember this probably.
I'll just sit on the edge of the bed. Just like, shut
Ooh.
up.
Jacobs, because of our story, there was another night, and one party not remembering the same as the other. So this could also be another example of how we'll both remember this differently than the other.
What?
This right here in this hospital scene.
Yeah.
This magic moment.
Right.
Basically, he's not gonna remember it.
Or
Yeah.
he's not going to remember the same.
He's not going to remember the same. That's the whole problem with our relationship is we don't remember something the same.
And eventually, Chuck comes in and he's like, nervous and like, oh god, he nearly died.
I didn't, so calm down.
Do you see how big his? You can't see it because it's bandaged, but it was like massive. His uniform basically turned red, like he doused it in
Chuck.
blood because he
Chuck.
did.
Chuck,
What?
shut up!
You guys are so sweet. But I'm right here.
Not now.
Don't get hysterical.
Trust me, it could have been worse.
Yeah, look at poor Alex over there.
Yeah, I was coming by. Alex, here you go. And he got you a box of chocolates.
Thanks.
It's about the only. Oh, and he also brought you a bottle of hot sauce.
Chocolate and hot sauce.
I'll just set that off to the side for the hospital food later.
Yeah. He's like, no, it's not. You're not supposed to put the hot sauce on the chocolate. You're supposed to hot sauce on the food because it's all inedible.
I know.
He's gonna.
I've
kinda
seen
just sit
things,
there.
man.
I've tasted stuff.
Tasted
Please don't
things
tell
man
me
was
they
not
put
meant
you
to
on-
taste.
Please don't tell me they put you on the vomit.
So that's what it's called.
No. As we take the fact that Lucas got stabbed violently and possibly could have died with all of the hilarity possible.
Yeah, you guys are mourning the vomit.
But
That's a good scene.
But I think we will kind of slip the scene over to Jodo, as I'm assuming you're going up to the bridge or wherever Captain Colors currently resides permanently. And
I probably would have sent him a message requesting a meeting in a meeting room if he had time.
The meeting room is labeled MR, my room.
Yeah, Ivan approaches the door and knocks very loudly in his normal Russian way.
It'd come open. Pretty much in the room, there's this table. It's supposed to be most people would call it a desk, but it's literally a conference table that's like a foot past the door. Like you can't get in the door all the way without climbing over this table at this point. And there's just reports and scans and pictures just covering every inch. And then there's another table, a foot, just enough to where you could climb under and pop up. Then there's another table. And this repeats up until there's almost no room. Then there's a bed. And the three scan crew girls are sitting there, like one's reading a book, one's playing with her hair, or one's painting her nails, and the other one is reading a book. And then you hear like some rustles of paper, and he pops up from one of the spots of the tables. Ah, yes, you're here. What was it you needed? And he's like shuffling papers around on the three tables, kind of literally parry-dogging between the tables.
one of your scan crew chimes up with, "Well, you probably could do with a little more room to get around in this place."
I said I'll get it out before we go to bed.
Mm-hmm. That's what you said last week, and it's still here.
I reduced it to one table for a couple hours.
Yes, there was still the table right next to the door.
Meeting time.
She kind
this
of.
is why they made digital personal assistants, right? And the ability to digitize all this paperwork.
Digitize my papers? Are you mad? He's mad. He wants to digitize my papers. What will I have to shuffle around and make it sound like I'm thinking externally?
You can still put papers on your desk, Captain.
I do have papers on my desk, and he's like sliding, and he starts lining them up, and it's actually like giant words of, it says like there's a picture of this random alley. There's a picture of like a little flashing glint of something is flashed off a blade of a knife as it comes out of a dark spot. He's like, see, there's papers and they do things.
Yeah.
Stabby part.
And look at this, and she holds up her PD and she kind of flips through. Look at all of these papers that I'm flipping through.
You don't have papers on those. That's a fashion magazine. Doesn't count.
That still counts.
And I memorized that 6 months ago.
Why are you looking through my fashion magazines again?
Because you stole my papers.
Because
anyway, meeting. This is so important. He had to come all the way up here, and we're at the top of the ship. It's a long walk.
I thought you just did that to annoy him.
No, he has to see me, and I'm busy. Shh. Yeah, they literally. Bye, Felicia. And he whips around, and he starts shuffling the papers again. Sorry. Family squabbles.
Indeed. So
he doesn't have the hat on.
I see that you're working very diligently on the strange assaults.
Yes, it's the second one against a human target, but there have been some minor incidences reported here and there. And he pulls up a star chart, like picture, and he's like, and it happened when we were near this area and near this area, and both are possible relay stations. If you could use stars, you use small planetoids to bounce signals off of to get agents inside our thing. Anyway, what did you want?
In a little bit of thinking since our last meeting, and then in light of the recent attacks, I have a security concern about the upcoming Miss MACROSS competition, and Well, now a security concern for all normal military personnel, specifically for the Veritech, because it is not lost upon me that one casualty of a Veritech pilot, and then Lieutenant Silverworth being attacked.
Yes.
It's not.
I'm not going to put sanctions on movements at this time, but we will have curfew. It's reasonable given the circumstances. It will upset the civilian population, which is a annoying thing to add to the normal calculations of military behavior. But yes, we will have to make some changes to the normal gaggles of bodies on this ship.
Is the plan still to go through with the Miss MACROSS competition?
Yes, the problem with peacetime populations is they have routines. They're cyclic routines that are more important that they happen than what they are. They've hyped up themselves as a population and it's reached critical mass. So at this point, despite the fact that there's no point in it, if it's canceled, it will be the same as if something attacked them directly. And in that case, it would be me. It will go on. Security will not be unduly tightened, but I have ordered the increased surveillance, the most I can get in the quickest amount of time, because I don't think I'm going to catch this person until after this contest. And mainly, and he starts raking piles up. It's like this pile was right before he was stabbed. This person was not there to get him. They were just lurking. And he like says a hand, and he's like loud, and he was flipping through his papers real fast, like almost like you were trying to do like the flip phone or the flip paper. He's like, this person waited for hours in this area. There's a person that walks out of a shadowy area here, in this street, and the street up, the street down. Lieutenant Archibald comes in. They stop moving and never reappear again. Then the hand comes out once he leaves. It's semi-targeted. They will continue to be a problem, but I have to figure out why. Not the overall why, but the why is this person is able to not be noticed because everybody else is asleep. But anyway, yes, security is going to be tightened in the hands-off fashion for now. If another one happens, I will have to lean on the civilian population for security in this incident.
If I may make a suggestion.
Of course.
What if we integrate some of my Fusiliers as part of security? Not boost it, but instead exchange for experience. As you well, they do have experience in rooting out the rebels, keeping an eye out for terrorists. So that would a sharp experienced eye would prevent potential for an individual sneaking in a bomb or other explosive device. Because while you are correct, canceling, you have a valid point in that mismatch canceling the pageant would be a devastating blow to morale. If an attack does occur,
It could be to attack that morale.
it could be to attack that morale and also erode the faith of the civilians in that of the military. We will have riots.
Yes, good idea. I will authorize it as a volunteer opportunity. In the old militaries, you had ratings at the end of every season or year or whatever. You were rated on your work, how well you held your personal life, and volunteerism. We're going to put this up as a volunteer opportunity for all the squadrons to get some face time with the public, and it will be a partially volunteer thing. I don't want any one group bogarting, hogging an area, tickets, vendors, bodyguards for the girls' areas in the back room, and don't order, but lean slightly heavier than asking for someone to be at least a participant in the event in the fact that they intend to not do well, but they wish to stay around to at least be on stage. Don't, don't involve Archie. Let
Of course.
get a hold of Melody Jacobs.
I work backstage.
No. Um, right now, you know what? Do get Silver Squad, but ask Melody to go with the supposed current love interest of Archie to be temporary participants, with the understanding they weren't there and to actually win. They're not expected to be winners. They're just expected to be undercover.
Lieutenant Danilova actually has very decent singing voice, so she'll probably enjoy a little bit of what do you
The more I
say,
say this out
showing
loud,
off.
the more I say this out loud, the better an idea it is to show that we're part of the populace. So heavily encourage volunteers and I will give a prize for the military members. Um, Increased rations, especially munitions, for the squads that make it past the first round. You don't have to try hard. You just have to make it past the first round. And after that, we'll exponentially go up in the preferred extra rations for the entire unit. So she would represent her unit.
Ah,
It sounds better.
it is good plan. It also keeps good, strong, professional eyes on the worst.
Yep. Yep.
I
I
may,
like that idea. I will, yes. Have her and Lieutenant or Corporal Jacobs be the ringleaders for this idea.
da.
That way, they're voluntold to do it, but they also know they're automatically getting a really good reward for their squadron. That works. I'll take stuff out of personal maintenance on my own monster to back fund this.
You sure? Those parts are not cheap. Trust me, I know.
Are you kidding? I've dragged that thing across the galaxy at this point. I'm pretty aware. But at the moment, it's more important to keep the fire from raging.
Indeed.
But good idea. I am
I have one
glad
additional
you came to me.
follow-up.
I've been kind of distracted.
Indeed, I can tell. I have one more follow-up idea, one that is a little bit lighter in subject matter and related to your encouragement to play Peacemaker.
Hmm.
I would like authorization for some of my rank and file to peddle some of the spirits that have been brewed from in the good traditional Muscovy way.
Partially approved, but you'll have to work through the mayor. Not for kickback type purposes, but just literally have the mayor involved in that thought. Like you can set up a temporary vendor or something like that in town, perhaps supply the shops and the bars and the restaurants, but make sure the mayor is involved in that because he will want to feel like he's a decision maker because we are in his eyes equal. Yeah. it's not. We gotta. It's a city built inside a warship. There's some weird little economy there, but keep him involved because it's going to directly affect the civilian population. Russian booze has a bad history of the people who are trying to kill other people using it, and it makes a good PR campaign too to have you approved by the mayor, because then the citizens will feel safer, even if they re-elect him or not next year. I'm not sure how that's going. I haven't really paid attention to that. Anyway, yes, good idea. I can't give you any rations for that idea, but I think the fact that you quelling will make you guys more quickly part of the community, and the community has gotten really good at sharing. And some of the hydroponic dividends have started to add actual flavor to meals again. So
Oh, friend, we got the potatoes well in hand. You don't have to worry. Just
oh yes,
you
I'm sure you do. You
trust me.
smell of
So,
potatoes sometimes.
so very well, then I will make it so. So, but
Yeah, he'll hold out a stack of papers. He'll just kind of gather them up, and it shows a hand pushing a button on a door near the Fusiliers area. And he'll say, "This hand is about the same size as the one that held the knife. Just recycle your code combinations every other day, and don't use the same person to be the secondary eyes on that.
so well,
Informational awareness. It's getting us in trouble."
indeed. So I'll also increase guard rotation. So at least for the encampment. So of course I guess I better ask this because you have such funny protocols, but if we do encounter the terrorists, summary execution.
I'm going to say no, but I won't be upset if they die because they were resisting arrest. Middle ground. I would prefer them alive, but I know they're not working alone because otherwise they wouldn't be so good.
And if they were to turn up very beaten and bruised and cut a little, but having lots of helpful information, I'm pretty sure that would be most beneficial.
That would be very bad for them because why would you pick a fight with a Russian and not expect to get beat up?
That.
I saw one of your old Spetsnaz kill a bear with a penknife.
Indeed.
He made the penknife out of its tooth while fighting the thing.
Imagine what we do with a spoon.
And to that point, one of your girls kind of sits up and she goes, "Okay, that's it. I'm interrupting this, Captain. Clean up your papers now.
Fine.
Get a billboard and do string if you have to. And
I'm
Mr.
not
Ivan, if you wouldn't mind him cleaning up, that would be great. Not that we don't enjoy your company, but at least one of us dislikes you.
You lovebirds are adorable, and I will happily leave your nest.
Screw
Don't
you too.
encourage them.
Yeah, one of them just kind of goes, "Screw you too."
So
all the papers are stacked up, but the tables themselves, he's like slams them on their side, just shoves them out in the hall. Fine.
And that is where we're going to hold the session to a close because it is exactly 10:02.
Very good. Wow. Well, I think you muted, Mike. You're muted still. Still muted. Or is it just me? Can anybody else hear him? Oh, I can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? I can't hear any of you. So, no, I can't. So I'll let everybody else say something and then just point at me when you're all done. All right, I guess maybe I can be heard. I'm not sure. But no one else can be heard. So I'm Lucasgvariety. This was our season 1 finale. Sorry about the technical difficulty there. Robotech the MACROSS SAGA. Please join the Discord and keep up with the schedule. So you see when we're going to come back. It's going to be a couple weeks. We're going to do Action Movie World for the next couple weeks, which is going to be a great 1980s awesome action flick. I think we have Fayt and Mecha Meme and Soundwavesghost joining me with Thaddeus Ex Machina and Dem. The shortest name, of course. Thanks, Dem, for having the name Dem. Anyway, we're going to come back and do that for a couple weeks, and then Sunday nights might be moving to Fridays soon. I was actually supposed to have a talk with the cast, but now we can't hear each other. So, but Robotech will return. We're going to figure it out. So, anyway, my name is Lucasgvariety. We will see you guys next time, so make sure you have a good night. God bless and good gaming. And now the whole stream is just going nuts, so I'm just going to cut it off right here. No curtains. We're just gone. All right, see you guys. Peace. Bye.